Biographical sketch, Baird T. Spalding. The Spalding family originated in England, and it was there that Baird T. Spalding was born. At the age of 4, he went to India, and India has been his home ever since, although his education and work have taken him to all parts of the world. Soon after his arrival in India, Baird enrolled in the preparatory school for the university. At the age of 17, he finished at the university. After 2 years in California, he went to Germany, where he studied for 8 years at Heidelberg, returning to California for postgraduate work in archaeology at Berkeley and Stanford. Baird T. Spalding comes from a family that has lived and worked for over 300 years in India and the Gobi Desert. It was through a discovery of his great-grandfather that the Spalding Foundation had its inception, leading to the discovery of the ruins in the Gobi where the foundation is working today. This is the story. Baird Spalding's great-grandfather was engaged in trade and was taking a load of goods down the Ganges. It was at the flood season, but being unaccustomed to the conditions, the party kept on until the waters were sweeping away the banks. The boats were pulled out on a shelf. One boat was alongside of the wall that had been exposed. A native broke through the wall, and out of it fell several gold pieces. Inside was a vault, and in this vault was a book of gold. This book was the second of a series, and in it was given the location of the other books. The books give a concise history of the old civilization, designating longitudes and latitudes. The second to the last page of each book is a map of the location of the other books. The last page is a map of the location of the cities. It was realized that if these people knew how to work longitudes and latitudes by finding their point of departure, it would be possible to find the locations of the cities. The engineers working under the Spalding Foundation were 19 years finding the location of the city in the Gobi, but they struck the ruins when they sank their first shaft. Spalding's great-grandfather was never in the Gobi. His grandfather went there in 1868, and Baird T. Spalding made his first trip in 1879. Today it has been proved conclusively that the so-called legends of the older civilizations are truth. It is known that these older civilizations existed, and that the people accomplished more than we have accomplished today. We know that the greatest civilization known was in this country, right where we are, and in different portions of the North and the South American continents, in a continent now submerged in the Pacific, and possibly in a continent now submerged in the Atlantic. There is no question but what that great race lived in the spiritual side of life. Mr. Spalding is in the United States today. His book, Life and Teaching of the Masters of the Far East, Volume 3, is off the press, and Mr. Spalding has been lecturing and answering questions concerning his work in the Gobi and his life with the Masters of the Far East. He plans to visit 25 of the principal cities of the United States before departing for India and the Gobi on September 30th. A growing number of students, authors, and scientists are planning to accompany him as far as India, where he will conduct them along the great Indian highway to the villages, temples, and homes of the Masters of the Far East. Mind magazine is now reporting the Spalding lectures and question forums, and will feature the questions and answers in its pages each month, together with articles recording the happenings on the world tour.